Hello, beautiful people. I am married to Lahun, also known as TheSudopian, and you are listening to another episode of Salam. This is a space rooted in faith, wholeness, and intentional healing. Here we talk about the real stuff, the gritty, the soul-tugging, the breath-catching kind of life that forces you to grow, not just spiritually, but emotionally and relationally. And today's episode... this one is close to my heart because I am living in it right now. We are talking about what it means to become a wife and a mother and what it means to still take care of you in that process and to still see yourself when your eyes are constantly looking outward at the people that you love and care for. So if you have been feeling a little stretched thin lately, if your soul's been whispering, I miss me, then sis, go get you some coffee, get you some tea, get you whatever it is that you need. Sit down. This episode is for you. Let's talk. So let's talk about how it started, right? So let me take you back just a little bit. So I got married when I was 28 years old. And listen, Orlando, my husband, me and him, we wasted no time. We had spent, almost 2 years just dreaming together, praying together, and having deep, intentional conversations about our future, right? Before we even got married. And we knew that we wanted a family. We didn't tiptoe around it. Like, we both came into this relationship very intentional and we weren't afraid of it. And it was very clear that we were ready to just grow and build. So when we said, I do, we meant it, right? We stepped into a marriage with wide open hearts and even wider arms that were ready to welcome the next chapter of our lives. And within months, that chapter came. So, we found out we were pregnant, and let me be clear, this baby was prayed for. My son, Cyree, we prayed for him, we hoped for him, we wanted, prayed, hoped, wanted, loved, you name it. Of course, there was joy and tears and praise and deep gratitude, but what I didn't expect, what no one really tells you, is just how transformative becoming a mother would be. And there's no course, there's no class, there's no sermon that really could have prepared me, that really could have prepared me for what it means to carry life, to give life, and then to live a completely new one on the other side of that. That's a lot, right? So marriage is one transformation. Motherhood is another. But doing both at once, we gonna call that one a spiritual renovation. Yes, I like that. I need to write that word down. A spiritual renovation. I need to use that again. So here's what they don't say out loud. You can love every second of your new life, right? And still grieve the version of you that no longer exists. And that's just the real. When I became a wife, especially a God-fearing one, I started learning the art of submission, not just to my husband, but to the idea that love is no longer self-centered, right? And you share a bed, you share your dreams, your plans, your rhythms, it's just all meshed into one. And when you become a mom, you give even more. So your body becomes a vessel, right? And then your schedule becomes not so much of a priority, it becomes secondary. Your rest is sacrificed, and suddenly you are a place of refuge, a place of nourishment, a place of constant giving. And it is beautiful, right? It is so beautiful. But where do you go to be refilled? And that was something I did not realize because everything felt so beautiful. My baby was healthy. My husband was present. Our home was full of love. I was surrounded by family, and still I'd find myself awake at night feeling invisible at times. Not because they didn't see me, but because I didn't see me. And we need to talk about it. We absolutely need to talk about it. I won't tap too much into like postpartum depression or anything like that today. I think I should save that for another episode. But the truth is, yes, there are going to be nights where you feel invisible, regardless of how much love is around you. And I did not recognize the woman in the mirror. I looked tired. I sounded tired. And I had this guilt lingering in my chest. Like, dang, I should be more grateful, right? More put together, more joyful, right? I don't know, like, God, how am I supposed to feel right now? But the truth was that I just missed me. I did. I just missed me a little bit. I missed the woman who had the freedom to move on her own timeline. The woman who could write for hours, whether it was poetry or I miss painting. I miss just going to the park at random times, and the woman who dressed up for no reason, the woman who I don't know, who didn't have to ask for permission to rest, okay? And that is when the conviction came, not to make me feel ashamed, but to wake me up and understand that God was gently nudging me back into awareness. He was saying, you can honor your family and still honor yourself, right? So, you know how people always say, you can't pour from an empty cup? Let's actually talk about that phrase, because I know we hear it all the time. I actually used to roll my eyes when I heard that. Like, yeah, we get it. Self-care is important, blah, 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 right? But now, oh no, I actually live by it because what I did learn when I was humbled was that when you are constantly giving without receiving, you become a shell of yourself and you start snapping over little things and feeling easily irritated, impatient, anxious. Ooh, things that aren't even a part of your true character. They just start to creep in, okay? And then you start to wonder why you're frustrated with your husband, or why you're breathing too loud, or why your baby's nap time feels like your only moment of peace, or why you're crying in the shower but can't explain what's wrong. It's not because you don't love your life. It's because you've been running on empty. So, sis, hear me when I say this. You are not called to depletion. Period. We could end the podcast right now. You are not called to depletion. You are not called to be a martyr in the name of motherhood or marriage. You are actually called to steward the life that God gave you, including your own. I'm sorry, let me take a quick sip of water real quick. Whew. What did I just say? Yes, stewarding. So you are called to steward the life that God gave you, and that means your own too. That means tending to your soul. That means creating space for joy that isn't dependent on anyone else. And that means checking in with your body. It means speaking kindly to yourself. So, yeah, let's stay right there. Let's break that down real quick. Because when I say self-care, I'm not just talking about, bubble baths and silk robes. Although if that's your vibe, girl, go off, sis. Go off. But self-care in this season, it looks different. It looks intentional. And for me, that meant like saying no to things that I used to say yes to out of guilt or obligation, or waking up an hour earlier, not to be productive, but just to be, just to sit with God and to just breathe. It looked like me letting my husband fully take over parenting duties for a night without hovering as much because I trust him and I need that space, and just scheduling time to write, to read, to sit in silence, to sit outside and just feel the sun, to feel the wind, just things that feed me, and not explaining myself when I need a break. And I'm so thankful to my husband, who has constantly been that voice in letting me know, like, no is a complete sentence, babe. You could just say no and leave it at that. And the world just gonna have to do what it is gonna do. And it's just recognizing that my worth isn't tied to how much I do for everyone else. It's actually understanding that I show up better when I am well. And even Jesus withdrew from the crowds, right? Even he stepped away to rest and recharge. So if the Savior of the world took time to sit alone with the Father, why do we think that we can run 24/7 and still be whole? I'll wait. I will wait. Oh, okay. But one of the most powerful things that I realized is that your healing is not just for you, actually. It's a testimony for your home. And when my son sees me taking care of myself, when he hears me say, mommy needs a moment, he's still a little too young to understand that, but we are raising him up to understand that this is a norm, right? Mommy needs a moment. Or he sees me journaling or in worship. He's just learning. He's learning that boundaries are healthy and that rest is holy and that wholeness is allowed. And when my husband sees me honoring my own voice and needs, it invites him to do the same, right? It creates a culture in our marriage where we're not just serving each other, but protecting each other's peace. Like right now, I said, babe, today I need to just sit down. I need to take a nice, hot, steamy shower. I need to sit down. I have some things that I need to get off my chest. I would like to record a podcast. And he was like, boom, you got it. I'm going to go work on something else while you're doing that, and we will catch up later, right? There's just something so beautiful about your family watching you prioritize your well-being without guilt. And it's not selfish. It's actually sacred. And if no one has told you this lately, let me be the first. Let me take the honors in letting you know that you are still becoming. Yes, you are a wife. Yes, you are a mama. Yes, you may have a role to fill at your job, but these are roles. They do not erase your essence. They don't cancel your dreams, and they don't silence your voice. God is still working in you. He is still birthing new things through you and still maturing and shaping and transforming you to call you higher. And no, you may not have a full hour every day to disappear into solitude, right? But even 10 intentional minutes with God, with yourself, with your journal, can change the trajectory of your day. And you don't need to overhaul your life to reclaim your space and your peace. You just need to say yes to yourself again. So for the woman that is listening, who is running on autopilot like me, who feels like she disappeared somewhere between diaper changes and date nights and deadlines, this is your reminder. This is your reminder that you are not forgotten. You are not just the roles that you carry, the titles that you wear. You are full, you are complex, and you are radiant, still so worthy of care, of attention and joy, and you are not failing because you feel overwhelmed. Girl, you are evolving. You're being stretched because you are becoming. So you need to give yourself the same grace that you so freely give your child, the same patience that you offer to your husband, the same compassion that you pour into everyone else. Pour some of that back into you. Pour it back into you because you need that. Okay? Don't forget that. I'm scanning my heart to see if there's anything else that I want to say. And I don't think there is. I think this is a good place to pause this. So, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in today's episode, sis. This one was for the moms, the wives, the women in the thick of it all who are still trying to hold on to themselves with juggling everything and while loving deeply. This is for you. And if this spoke to you today, please do share it. Send it to a friend, send it to a sister, a cousin, and play it during your drive. Let it minister to your heart, whatever. And if you haven't already, please make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss the next episode. Until next time, keep becoming, keep breathing, keep choosing you, because there is power in your voice. Salam.